Thank you very much, Myung-gil, for that report. Now, the Korean economy is facing a tough 2016 ahead, with multiple factors posing challenges from both the domestic and global front. With that, private institutions are rather skeptical about Korea achieving 3% growth next year, but the government remains confident, pledging to keep a close eye on low prices. Our Hwang Ji has this report.
Korea expects its economy to expand 3.1% in 2016. That's a trim from an earlier forecast of 3.3%, but still higher than the mid-2% range that a majority of private financial institutions have put forward. It says it will also evaluate the country's economic expansion based on current prices, offering not only real GDP growth but nominal growth figures as well, a move reflecting the government's drive to keep better tabs on deflationary concerns. Korea's consumer price growth has remained in the 0% range since November last year and edged up 1% last month from a year earlier. At current prices, the government expects to see 4.5% growth next year. To reach that target, it has pledged to boost the country's recovery momentum by front-loading around a quarter of next year's budget in the first 3 months, to pull the country out of its low-growth rut prompted by slowing exports. The economy management plan for next year also puts emphasis on easing regulations to boost investment and come up with new growth engines. The government plans to designate regulation-free areas in 14 different regions across the country, with the goal of fostering industries like biohealth, eco-friendly vehicles, and cosmetics. This project follows the state-driven program this year to build 17 creative economy innovation centers around the nation. Also on the agenda for next year is completing structural reforms in the labor, education, finance, and public sectors. But experts are skeptical as to whether the government will be able to push through such reforms, with Parliament still deadlocked over pending labor bills.
Korea has general elections next year and the presidential election the year after. With political events like these, the government will face major opposition in completing the reforms, and they may lose steam.
Another challenge Seoul will take on is diffusing threats posed by snowballing household debt and corporate debt in the face of a possible rate hike by the U.S. Federal Reserve. The move will allow troubled firms to begin corporate workout programs before their deteriorating financial health becomes irreparable. Through these structural changes, the government aims to realize growth that can be felt by the public, as much of the focus this year was on regaining the country's economic vitality. Hwang Ji, Arirang News.